In this video, I'm going to go over how to complete the coin toss investigation. So first of all, you got to get a coin, and I have a coin here, and what you're going to do is you're going to flip the coin many times, and you're going to record the results as you go. So there's a table to complete, and what you're going to do is fill this in as we go. So the toss numbers, so our first toss would be number 1, and I'm going to write H or T depending on what I get here. And then I can either get a 0 or a 1 for number of heads so far, depending on what I get. And then the probability of H, that's the probability of getting a head. That is the number of heads you got so far, which is either going to be 0 or 1 for the first time, divided by the total number of tosses, which is going to be 1. So the probability, that will give it to me as a fraction. And then over here we're going to change our fraction to a percent by turning it into a decimal by taking the top number divided by the bottom number and then multiplying by 100 or moving your decimal point over 2 places. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so I grabbed my coin here, and my first toss is a tail. So I'm going to print or type T in here, and then I'll fill in the rest of this row. Number of heads so far is 0. And my probability is 0 over 1 as a fraction, and that would be 0% as a percentage. So now I'm going to toss it again. This time I got heads. So we put H here. There are online applets where you can simulate tossing a coin, and instead of actually tossing a coin, you can just click on a button, but I don't think it saves you too much time. So now I have 1 head because I had 0, now I have 1, so 0 plus 1. And my probability of getting heads, now I'm going to look at this row here. The total number of heads so far is 1. I'm going to divide that by the toss number, which was 2. So 1/2 is my fraction, which is 50%. If you're not sure about that, you take 1 divided by 2, and you get 0.5, and 0.5 is 50%. Okay, now I need to toss my coin again for number 3. I got a tail. Okay, so far I still only have 1 head because I didn't get another head, and I had 1 already, and I'm not going to put a 0 here because I can't go down in my number of heads. It can only increase. This row can only get bigger. So now I have 1 head out of 3 because my coin toss is 3, my heads is 1. And that is 33.33%. Now, how do you find that out? If you're not sure, you can get your calculator, and you can go 1 divided by 3, and you get 0.33333333. Now, to change that into a percent, I can move my decimal point over 2 places, so it'll be right here, or I can just multiply by 100. And there's my 33.33. I rounded to 2 decimal points. Okay. I'm going to do just a couple more, and then I'll show you how to do the scatter plot. Sorry. Alright, I got another tails. So far, I still only have 1 head. I only got 1 head right here, so that's only 1 out of 4. That's 25%. So it's not exactly what I would expect to happen yet. I'll do one more. Oh, there's a head. Okay, so now I've got 1 more head. So now my number will change to 2 because now I've got 2 heads out of all of these. But you can just add 1 to the one previous. So now that's 2 out of 5, and then maybe you need to get your calculator out to determine what that is as a decimal. So 2 divided by 5 is 0.4, and 0.4 is 40%. If you wanted to add a column here for decimals, you could. 40%. Okay, I've got some data, and you're going to keep doing this, and you're going to keep doing this for at least 50, I said. And now you're going to come down here when you're done or as you go, and you're going to fill in the scatter plot. So notice that my scatter plot only goes by 5. I couldn't get every one on here and make it fit. So after every 5 ones, you can come down here and say, what's my percentage, my probability of getting a head? I'll label this when you see this worksheet in your folder. So after 5 coins, my probability of getting heads was 40%. I don't have 40% on here. Oh, I do have 40% on here. So I'm just going to put an X there. You could put a dot, you could put a circle, you could put whatever, an asterisk, whatever you decide. You should use the same thing for each one. I'm just going to put a dot or an X. You could, you know, if it was 42%, you could take this little X. I don't know if this will work. And like click on the X squared button to make it go up higher. And you don't have to do that, whatever you want to do. Okay, so you can just estimate over here, get to the closest 5 percentage points. And then after I do 10, maybe my percentage will go down to 35%, and then I'd put an X here. Or maybe after 10, it'll be 70%, and then I'd put an X here. And I'll do that all the way across. I'll put X's for every time I've got 5 coin flips, I'll put an X. And then after that, then there'll be some questions asking about your results. And you'll fill those in. And then you'll save this, and you'll attach it to your assignment. And we'll see what your results are, if they're what you expected, or if you got something different than you expected. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.